Hi.
Hello?
Hello.
Is this...
Hello.
Is this the world of new heroes? And anime?
I don't like anime.
So I had a thought,
Yes.
while thinking about My Hero Academia, the full title of the show. Do you think if this was an American show, something about the word academia in there makes it feel like it would have been harder to market to an American audience? I feel like if this came out as an American show first, it just would have been called like My Hero or something shorter.
Hero School. It would probably would have been, it would have been something closer to Hero School, because academia is not exactly a word that is like. Oh yeah, My Hero Academy. Yeah,
that
you know
actually
what?
would have made a lot more sense now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Because
Although
I was trying to think of like how I would talk to people who don't watch like any anime if I was gonna be like, My Hero is a really good show. If I just go My Hero Academia to a person who watches no anime and is like an American cartoon person only, they'd be like, that sounds like a garbledy-goobly of name words.
Yeah, and well, that's one of the things you got to consider is that My Hero Academia is absolutely 100% accurate for what the show is.
Yeah, no, it's an entirely accurate title, which is why I don't think it's a bad one.
Yeah.
Just don't know exactly how to market it.
It's a little clumsy in English.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's why personally I wouldn't go with My Hero Academy if I had to rename it. I think My Hero Academia is a great name. Although hero, like the My in it is very Japanese.
Yes.
Like it's a very it's to kind of like, oh, this is the personal story about my hero training.
Yeah.
My hero school.
Just Hero Academy might have worked, but that also sounds kind of generic, so I don't know.
Yeah. Hero Academy is probably what it would have been called in English, if I'm going to be honest. Not even My Hero Academy, it would have just been Hero
Academy.
Yeah.
This is Deku's story from his perspective. It's gotta be personal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we know we're not visible.
We're still setting up some other stuff.
We're working on some things.
But we got the camera getting ready.
I'm just gonna set up one more button and we should be there.
One more button.
Two more.
Two more buttons.
Just for your stats and detecting
All right. Well, there's record.
Yeah.
Red cord. Red arc.
We should already
Recording.
be recording.
Actually, just yeah.
Be ready.
Yeah, we're recording. I'm just getting close.
Nah, that's cool.
Recording.
Someone gave me guff the other day for us having like 2 minutes of silence at the beginning of one of the reviews that I didn't edit out. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hit that record button when we start talking
Damn it, Anthony.
instead.
You think she set up? So Scott, if you want to just set
Uh.
up the camera.
Oh!
you can.
We're there!
Oh my
Uh.
God!
I did it!
It's very easy to set up.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Wow.
You know what
Intuitive.
You know what I'm very mad about?
What?
People can't see my new boots.
Ooh!
I got new boots.
Way to go.
I rarely get new shoes, mostly because I hate walking and running. But actually, we went out to
How dare I protect my feet?
Well, the funny thing is, so we went out to this nice. I took my husband out for Valentine's Day last night because we couldn't do it last week during actual Valentine's Day. Also, never go to a restaurant for Valentine's Day. It's a scam.
It's terrible.
It's gonna be like super crowded. It's also going to be way too much money.
Go the day after.
New boot goofing, right? Yeah, it's gonna be too much money. It's gonna be a limited menu. It's gonna be bullshit. Never go on actual Valentine's Day. Just pick another day, celebrate it then. But my husband was freaking out because this place we were going to was like, you're gonna need nice clothes. You're gonna need nice clothes. And I'm like, all right, well, I have nice clothes, except my nice shoes when I was in Britain for Moscow's wedding got destroyed. Just absolutely destroyed. And it was during the dance too. We were dancing. And next thing I knew,
cut too much of a rug and the shoes caught on fire.
cut loose, foot loose. Just
Put on your foot.
No, he took off. He
shoes.
ruined his Sunday shoes.
No.
I ruined my Sunday shoes.
Lack feet.
But yeah,
Feet.
stop saying feet.
Why don't you kiss? Kiss this.
My feet.
My feet. My name is Quentin Tarantino.
Anyway, okay. So My Hero Academia, season 4, episode 18.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this one. For
No,
different
this was a fun one.
I actually watched this one.
reasons. You did. You're not gonna have to sit here and watch it with us this time, which
I thought that was kind
that-
of fun
no,
in its
to,
own way.
no, to be fair,
We made lemons out of that lemonade.
We sure did. We reverse engineered those lemons
yep,
right away.
very good. It was actually pretty impressive. Gentle and La Brava, but we'll get into them in just a minute.
Kind of pop in near the end.
Yeah. First is first. Everyone wants to figure out what they want to do for the school festival coming up, and I like that Kirishima asks the honest question. Hey, so there've been a lot of villain attacks and shit's crazy. You think it's a good idea? But
And some people notice, say like, "What the fuck are you? You don't want to party? What the fuck's wrong with you,
I-
Hiroshima?"
and you know
Doesn't
what?
sound very manly.
The funny thing is,
I want to fix our angle. Keep going.
well, and it makes sense that Kirishima of all people is like, hey, I'm not sure about this.
I'm very aware of my mortality right now.
Yeah, I'm more aware of my mortality right now than I've been in a while.
Keep going. Don't address it. Keep going.
Than I have
I've been in a
while.
traumatic situation, and I don't know if I'm ready to cope with the idea of, having fun.
Yeah, and so, yeah, everybody's like, well, Kirishima specifically is like, is this a good idea? And Aizawa was like, listen, the sports festival was for all of you guys who are Fighto. This festival is for all the other kids.
This is for the rest of the school.
Yeah, they need this. And frankly, so do you. And yeah, they decide, you know what, that's a pretty good reason. I like that Aizawa is like, hey, legitimate question. Like, that is an absolutely reasonable concern. I want you to know that right now.
Yeah, but then he's like, "Nah, but people need to chill out and relax. All cool."
Yeah. And so everybody starts putting forward their ideas of what they want to do for a...
And it's very specific to what they want.
By the way, I would like to point out, so, we got a couple of great answers, real answers. We got a couple of ones that are very specific to those people, but probably not great for everybody. We also got a bunch of joke answers. Specifically, okay, so we all know what fucking Minato was asking for, right?
Yeah.
What were the subtitles trying to say?
They were cutting off.
It just says boo,
boobs.
but
You just boobs.
yeah, but
because he's saying opie, like that's where he was starting.
yeah,
So I guess he should have been saying everyone has to have big cans. Is basically
yeah.
his kind of like
Well,
crass comment.
I'd like to point out that in the Titty Bar.
Yeah, I was gonna say Titty Bar's like the American version of a strip club. I don't know if there's a booby club
So
in Japan or something.
I've got a Shonen Jump subscription. I actually went back and I looked at what they translated as in the manga, and he says strip, and then it gets cut off.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Which, yeah, strip club. That makes sense.
I liked when he got hit in the head.
Although Titty Bar, in terms of like Hooters, it makes more sense. It is that middle ground of yeah.
Also, Scott, I can't believe you jumped into this and skipped the most important part of this episode, which is Ashido's dancing.
Oh yeah. So as we see that
Breaking.
Yeah.
breaking.
Pow, pow.
Okay, boy, let's dancey.
I love it.
No, that was great.
It's so funny because Japan, as of the last like 30 years, you've seen this increase in loanwords, and yet still on occasion you see just the worst use of English, and it really makes me funny.
It must be a Japanese thing, but her screaming breaking and then people replying with pow pow like a call and response thing.
Yeah.
That must be a Japanese thing. Here, that is definitely not a thing.
No.
People just dance and people go, yeah, that's cool. You
Yeah.
keep dancing, person.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what that's about,
They just had their own hype man routine.
but yeah.
And I like how Deku immediately goes like, "Oh man, dancing's like a big part of like one of her hobbies, and also she moves so well when she fights. That's probably a big part of it."
I have to
I
point,
should learn.
I have to point out the best part of all of that is when both Deku and Aoyama
Try to
try
dance.
it, and it is the perfect representation of somebody who has no idea what they're watching, and then trying to replicate it.
Yeah.
They danced like I probably would have danced if I didn't see them doing it on screen. If I would have been like, "No, she makes that look easy. Let's see if I can look as cool as that." And I would probably go
And they
somewhere
can't
in the
even
middle of those
two-step.
two. Yeah.
No, but as
By
we
the end of the
find
day,
out,
Aoyama learns how to two-step.
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 I'm sorry, love Aoyama and his two-step back.
But that launches into the conversation of, man, it's really cool when you can make your hobbies work for your hero work. You know, like Sato with his sugar stuff. And then they all look to Jiro and they go, you got like a bunch of instruments and stuff. You could probably make that really cool with your... And she does not like this idea.
Yeah,
No.
specifically like, what's his name? Electric Boy. What's his name?
Oh,
Kaminari?
Kaminari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaminari
Specifically,
is...
he's like, no, it's really cool, and like he's actually being genuinely nice.
Yeah.
And she's like, shut the fuck up. Don't talk about my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My music's for me.
She is not okay with the idea.
She threatens to stab him with her little
Yeah.
things.
At some
So-
point, she like pokes her little ear things together, like to show she's nervous. I don't know why, but in my mind, I feel like that would hurt really bad. Like I don't know why. I think those things would be sensitive, but I guess not.
I don't know. Well, sometimes don't you like just like pinch your ear or something?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. But then being so solid, I'm like, that's probably like teeth or nails or something. Just
yeah.
anyway.
Grinding teeth.
But yeah, it's a pretty... It's actually a kind of a cute moment as well.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's a
ador-
real good
A
moment.
lot of her animation is adorable this episode. Like, and obviously they were leaning into that.
Someone who's already liked her. This was a fun episode.
Yes. Jiro is one of the characters in the show that you desperately want to see get more focus. Mostly because she's the most down to earth
You just like
character
her.
there.
She has a
chill.
cool design, and I think her power is unique and could have a lot of interesting uses.
Yeah.
So it's I want to see them do more with her because I feel like she has a lot of cool potential.
You know what? Somebody pointed out that she can break stone with those damn things. So
That's
they're
true.
probably not that sensitive.
Yeah.
Good point.
But yeah, so, but yeah, she gets really, really sensitive when people start bringing up her hobby, and we'll find out why. But yeah, then that does lead into the whole festival thing.
Yeah.
And Aizawa was like, all right, figure out what it is, or I'll just make it a public lecture.
Yeah, they showed an image of just. They just showed an image of them sitting as if on a classroom, but on a stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's what they imagined that being.
Did you guys have like, I don't know, like I remember I had like a school fair kind of thing, but we never really had any sort of like I'm sure this is
Nothing
a more
like
Japanese
this.
thing with the school festival, but like the closest we had was we had a school fair and they would turn some classrooms into like different kind of like carnival like games. Like we had like a musical
Yeah.
chairs room and like a thing where you could like I think like throw balls at like the little milk bottle things.
Or like living museums where like you would learn all about a historical person and then like dress up as them. Did you guys ever?
We never really did.
I didn't participate, but they happened in my school at one point.
I think we had a place near us that did something like that, but we never did it at school.
It's a fun little activity for kids, and I just always like the book fairs, but those are different.
Yeah, very different.
It's the only fair I can think of in school.
See, I like the way that if they happen, I never know how like they happen in actual Japanese schools. I've only ever seen how they happen in anime.
Yeah,
but they always seem like
say anime
this.
or video games.
Yeah.
I've done Persona school.
But
festivals.
considering how consistent they've been throughout anime, it does make me wonder exactly how elaborate and how involved these festivals are and how involved these kids get. And there's a part of me that really, really likes them.
It's probably a
Yeah.
great like.
It's a
tool.
good lesson because it's like, hey, you're gonna have a responsibility, but it's a fun one. You need to make a fun thing for your classmates.
I do remember one thing I had in school in Houston, which was a like sort of culture festival.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
showing off different cultural things, which that's kind of a nice.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but like
Along
like
those
cultural
lines.
foods and
Yeah.
stuff, and like, hey kids, you're different. Get over it. Basically.
Let's go appreciate each other's differences.
First time I had green tea.
Oh, yeah, that's neat. But yeah, they're putting this together. Everybody has a bunch of ideas, and they all sit down and they try to start throwing them together. And they're like, well, that one sounds like it's going to be too stressful to do for us. That one sounds like it's going to be stressful for the people to watch. We need to find something that's really going to play to all of our strengths and also
Relieve tension.
Yeah, relieve tension. And I love that. It's like Bakugo and
It's Todoroki who comes
Yeah.
up with it because they kind of start leaning towards we should do the dance that Ashido brings up, and they're like, I don't know, that still seems like if you're gonna have dance, that's not quite enough. We need more than that. And Todoroki's like, there's this thing people do. I can't remember what they're called, and finds a YouTube video of a concert.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, something like this is what we should do.
It looks like people having fun.
I know, right? Todoroki's a good boy. He's a good boy. And yeah, I won't lie. So, you know that shot of Bakugo and Todoroki in disco dancing?
Yeah.
I want you to know that was a little part in the manga. Literally, just kind of
really?
in the bottom left, low detail.
Sing the
getting-
Saturday Night Fever thing straight, like,
Yeah,
showing
that
fully.
was real fun with Mineta just being like, "Did you guys become party boys?"
Party people. He says,
Party
he
people,
says
yeah.
party people.
Yeah, and I love at the end of this bit where when they actually talk to Jiro and get her to agree by, like, you know, bumping up her spirits. I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but like the YouTube video like goes in autoplay.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
yeah. Hold on. We
Yeah,
will
yeah.
get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jiro is like basically they say we want to do a concert and we want people to dance and that's what we want. And of course, everybody's attention turns back to Jiro, and Jiro is like, you don't understand. I know that you guys want this, but for me, it's just a hobby. Everybody else makes their hobby part of their hero work. This is a hero school. What am I doing focusing on things that aren't helping me
And
be a better
she
hero?
feels stupid for it not being more closely related to her work. And we were like, you make people happy. Heroes have to do that too. It's good.
That's important.
And it's dumb, and she's being dumb, and everybody has to tell her that's dumb.
I hope
Stop
in the
it.
future she like leans into a rock aesthetic. That
Seriously,
she feels like the rocking hero. Or
That's,
something.
Oh my
that's
God,
immediately what I
yes.
started thinking. Was like, no, just like use your powers
The
to
rock
amp
star
your
hero.
your
Yeah.
instruments and just be like, all right, here's my guitar attack, and just like blast people with
Yeah.
a fucking chord.
Little Scott Pilgrim on him.
I positively love that over the last 10 years, punk rock girls are becoming more and more of a thing in Japan, and they always have such cool aesthetics.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like it reminds me of like Marnie from fucking Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
Or not Sun and Moon,
Sword and
Sword and Shield. And now like we have Jiro, and I'm like, yes, please become the guitar hero. Oh wow, okay, yeah, somebody in the chat, yeah.
The guitar hero. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, like they talk her into it, and I love the little autoplay YouTube video at the end going into the gentle YouTube video, like foreshadowing it. I don't remember that from the manga. Was it in there?
Yes.
It felt like it was too clever
No,
to not
that-
be in the manga.
Awesome enough, it's in the manga.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I liked that her, just to quickly go back, when she was against it, I think Kaminari and someone else like go up to her and just be like, no, that's really cool, and you should do it. And then Yaoyoroza kind of like jumps in to like mediate, be like, hey, it's
Let's ask
still
her
her
what she
choice.
wants, yeah.
Like we should respect what she wants to do. And she's like, well, no, everyone's making a good point, and it wouldn't be very rockin'.
It would be.
do it.
It would be
Like, hell
very
yeah.
rocking if I didn't say yes. Which, like, yes, girl, talk yourself into doing the thing you love to do. Sometimes you really do need a push, and you know, everyone. It never, you know, if somebody has a legitimate reason, don't push them too hard. But sometimes your friends need that push to get out of their shell and do the things that they love.
You give them a little bit of encouragement, and then give them space to make their own decision. That's how you do it.
Always be rocking. And yeah, so now.
Never stop rocking.
Nah, never stop. Yes. I won't lie. That fucking ending segment of that scene, though, you're right. That was one of the coolest ways. Like, generally, as a way to introduce gentle, fucking great.
Yeah.
Especially because it's something that, like, who would think to use that as a device? A next video thing popping up?
The autoplay.
That's so good. And yeah, as we see, a face pops up on the computer. But we don't see that for another couple of minutes, because now we're going to pop back over to Eddie.
Hey!
Hey! It's Eddie. And
She's allowed to have visitors.
and her horn has gone down, which means she's not a problem for anybody.
I like that built-in limitation that they can probably keep her in check if she becomes more prominent later on. Is that once her horn's down, she can't do the power anymore. So
It's... this whole scene is setting up for a lot of stuff later. But all we get, like here, it's just Deku, Mirio, and Eri just talking and going over what happened. And she has no idea what happened to Night Eye, which,
they're like, let's let her alone for now. She doesn't need more.
This would be tough to take. She's already blaming herself.
She's already really fragile because she's an abused child.
And so this is just them trying to, you know, talk to her, get her, like, you know, like give her some visitors, tell her, hey, it's all right, you did nothing wrong, we're here, and we wanna be your friends.
It was cute in the world's saddest way when they're like, you should smile, and she was like, how do you do that? I don't remember.
It's like
And
the
it's just like,
Terminator
oh.
trying to smile.
Yeah, it's a super duper sad scene.
Yeah.
And that's when Deku
Who's
realizes.
styling in this scene, by the way? His outfit's great.
Oh shit, I don't remember it.
He had like a short sleeve hoodie on, and it was really
Yeah.
cool fashion.
Huh. I'll have to
I
go
do
back
love
and
whenever
see
we get
that.
to see these characters in casual clothes.
Horikoshi designed some great casual outfits.
Yeah, I mean, Horikoshi is a great designer.
He probably looks online and finds great casual outfits, but still,
he probably
dresses
does.
them up good.
Man, the internet has made like manga so much more different nowadays than it ever was.
So much easier to research things.
So much easier to get like.
Now everybody's doing the
References.
Taikubo thing.
Oh,
And the what's his name? I know his name. Yoshioda Tagashi thing, where they just really want to dress up their characters.
And when you have reference for not only outfits but also for like locations, explosions, stuff
Yeah.
where it's like now I can just kind of look online and anything that I need I have. Animators do that now all the time too. Like a lot of your favorite animations probably came from somebody looking online and looking at how explosions work, going
Yeah.
frame by frame and being like, okay, so this is what happens, and it's really cool. But yeah, so in the scene, Mirio and Midoriya are trying to reach out to her, and Midoriya realizes that, oh no, we're not done. We got her out of harm's way, but she's still not saved.
Yeah,
And that's a really
She's got to come to Jesus.
it's not a Tyler Perry movie.
By the way, some people saying watch Azokan. Yes, watch Azokan. Yeah, yes you do. But yeah, so she's not saved. She's still struggling with everything that's happened to her, and it's going to take a lot of hard work to get her to a place where she feels like a normal, healthy person. And that's when they get the idea to take her to the festival.
Yeah, we didn't mention it earlier, but Aizawa specifies we're not going to let the general public in on this. This is going to be strictly for the school.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
Deku's this will minimize risk for her being around. It'll be a safe environment for her. We should bring her.
Yeah, she'll be around other heroes. She'll be in a secured environment, and there will be candied apples.
What could go wrong? Smash
Exac-
cut.
Exactly. This seems like a perfect plan that could not have any sort of thing to overlook or go wrong.
Which I like. I like the emphasis on the candied apple, though. By the way, like
Yeah.
She wants to eat sweets.
Yeah,
she
no,
wants
yeah,
sweets.
She knows she likes sweet
Sweeter
things.
than apple?
Yep.
She's a kid,
Yeah.
so she's like, oh, there's candy. There's candy.
A candied version of my favorite fruit.
Yeah,
You've struck oil. Take me to this magical place.
this place with all the candy.
And even then, she still doesn't smile. She imagines it, and you can see on their face that it's something she wants, but no smile.
Yeah.
And so, and then the scene, fucking Mirio trying to be the good boy is like, yeah, we're gonna go on a date. I'm gonna take you on a date. And she's
What's a date?
yeah, and then he has to try and explain it, and
He just gives a very textbook definition that sounds really weird.
and Deku's like, dude, just don't. Like, I know
Man
you're
and
trying.
woman
and I
go
think-
somewhere together when they're intimate.
Bad way to
wrong
define
words.
that.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where I've seen it used a couple times. I think in Japan, the term date is used more loosely than it is here.
And the idea again, he's probably used to girls, like regular girls, who would be like, date with a boy, and he's like, yeah, we're going on a date. No,
Yeah.
come on.
But you remember Hunter x Hunter when Gon talks about
Yes,
he
how
went
we
on
went on dates with
and it's
women.
it's more innocent than
Yeah.
We went
it
somewhere
implies for
together.
us.
Yeah, because Mirio is trying to give her something like, oh yeah, a girl would love to go on a date with an older guy, so I'm gonna be her date, and it's cute. It's not I want to date this girl.
Yeah.
But again, she doesn't get it, so he's trying to be cute, and she's just like, I don't understand what's happening, and
Yeah.
Deku's like, just stop, bro. So
It's gonna be a fun time. That's all you need to know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but
I think after this we go to the
yeah,
police.
yeah. After this, it's the fucking police, and yeah, the police point out that there's been a string of robberies from a guy who's been posting YouTube videos. Which, by the way, I like to point out that influencer culture in Japan has been a mixture of, yeah, I know there's some people who are doing it well and they're kind of fine, and then on the other end, people they fucking hate.
I have no idea who you might be talking about who might have the last name Paul.
See, Logan Paul is only an example of their like a foreign, an
Influencer?
outside a foreign
A
influencer.
tourist influencer,
Yeah.
the worst kind.
But there are ones in Japan who are also not great. I do think this arc might have come out immediately following the Logan Paul stuff. I know that Gegege no Kitaro actually had its first episode of its show was a guy in Shibuya being a fucking asshole for social media.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Like,
it came out like 3, maybe 4 months after the Logan Paul thing. It would have been the exact right time for them to have done it. It was such a great timing. It was such great timing. And yeah, influencers in Japan, they've kind of got a bad rap because 2 reasons. One, being an asshole in public, not very well accepted in Japan. In fact, if you are an asshole in Japan and like in public and you are caught on record, you can be fired. You likely will be fired if that's put on social media.
Yeah,
like
there's an expectation that's higher.
yeah, they're like, hey, if you make a fool planking, yeah, if you planked in Japan, you could get fired for that. Because they're like, yeah, no, what are you doing on a public space acting like an idiot? Don't
want
do
you
that.
representing us everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit of a comment on how terrible the work culture can be.
Yes,
But-
actually, to be fair, I do think the work culture in Japan, on one hand, it can be,
Bit
does,
oppressive.
on one hand, does actually a lot of, you get a lot of great performers, creators, and people are exceptionally good at their job in Japan. On the other hand, it can be incredibly punishing, incredibly it can be the worst. So it's a tough situation of you will get people who do the job better on average, but you're also going to get a lot of people who are really miserable, and that's kind of the tough part of that. That's the tough balance there.
Yeah.
Which of course America has its own work culture problems,
Yeah.
which we should not ignore that. I feel bad whenever I criticize.
It's just that Japan's is like roughly double the intensity of ours.
It's
It's way more intense. I think
Yeah.
is the right way to phrase
Well,
it.
and it's like I'm gonna throw. I don't think it's specifically like the work culture is a big part of it, but I think it is just like kind of a cultural expectation of how you fit into society
Yes.
in
Yeah.
general is very different than ours, and kind of plays into that.
Yeah, Agretzko is a good anime you can watch if you want to learn a bit more about that.
Agretzko's fantastic. I love Agretzko, and if you haven't seen it, you really should give it a try. I know it might sound like Sanrio as a cartoon. It is made for adults, and it is exceptional.
Yeah, just wanted to wrap that all the way back around to anime again. We're back in
Yeah.
My Hero Land.
But
Talking about Gentle.
yeah. So Gentle is an influencer, and he's a villain, and he is looking to make it big online. And when so the funny thing is, he's robbing a konbini, and 2 heroes shows up, and he's like, 2 heroes, pff, please, not a problem. 4 more show up, and he's like, oh, okay, actually, never mind, that's a problem.
La Brava cut this part.
Yeah, La Brava, cut this part. By the way, Koichi Yamadera as fucking Gentle. That's Beerus, Spike Spiegel,
Okay.
Zenigata from fucking Lupin now, and a bunch of other shit. Koichi,
So the fan casting for Gentle. Do you have one?
in English?
Yeah.
I've actually been, it's been going through my mind a lot, and I haven't been able to
We know
settle on it.
nothing, to be clear.
Yeah.
They probably haven't even cast him yet. But
They have.
They have? Okay.
They're recording for him now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we have no idea. So,
No.
So this would be pure speculation.
Yeah.
I know I saw a tweet go out there where I can't remember if it was Gentle or La Brava, where they were like, "Do you want them to have an English accent? What do you think?"
It was Gentle.
Was it Gentle? Okay.
Yeah. And apparently it was no.
Huh.
Which, I mean, personally, for a character like that, he seems like he would bring on a British affectation.
By the way, just a random thing. Based on the manga, I thought he was blonde. I didn't think of him as white-haired at all.
Huh.
You know what? I don't know what I thought. And
I was
thought-
imagining a blonde guy.
You know what? I can't remember. I can't remember. But personally, I wouldn't mind. Oh yeah, we do have a VA for Hawks. I can't remember who his name was.
Because of the movie.
Because the movie.
Yeah.
He's in the movie. Even though you're not going to see him for like ever. But yeah, Hawks. But yeah, I wouldn't know who I'd want to cast him as. I'd have to really go back.
Was that Xeno? Who was cast as Hawks?
I think so.
Xeno was cast.
That sounds right to me.
But
Yeah.
anyway.
But yeah, so I don't know. There's an actor I have in my head, but I can't remember what his name is. So that's the thing. I was like, damn it.
Any of their other roles?
No.
Hey, Spike Spiegel was cast as him in Japanese. Maybe
There you go.
get Steve Blum to be
Hey?
to slumming at anime again. No. I don't think he sees it that way at all. He's always spoken very positively about his experience doing anime.
Oh yeah, I mean, it is one of those things that is kind of generally accepted in the industry, though. Look, it's not that we don't like voice actors don't enjoy doing anime. Hell, I love doing anime. I absolutely enjoy doing it because
More work, less pay.
It is more work for less pay.
Yeah.
Because
often.
no matter what,
It's a different industry for sure.
and not to mention it's more work, less pay, less freedom. Because you're always
You got to stick to another performance and flip flaps and timing.
It really sucks that way. So
It constricts your performance. But that's besides
Neither here nor there.
Going back to Gentle.
Yeah.
So the video feed like cuts out for a second, and we come back. The convenience store looks
it's
like all wobbly.
wobbling. It looks like a fucking
And since I don't know what this dude's power is, what La Brava's power might be, like I have no idea if that's like a cartoony effect, like the place was exhausted, or if that's like some remnant of what their powers are.
But
those
he took
heroes
out
are
4
all
heroes.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be his power. Like, yeah.
I have a feeling they'll go more in depth later, but yeah, it's. Looks like he might be able to hold his own because he took out like 6 pros.
Yeah. And he's got this whole Robin Hood thing going on, except he's just stealing.
Yeah, that's right. So he demands of the cashier. He's like, "I want the 1,000 yen bills in stacks of 10. Specifically, put them in this briefcase." Like, all right, that's weirdly specific, but okay.
But not even that aggressive. Just like, hey, can you do this, please? I'm robbing you.
Well,
Thanks.
yeah, but he's very specific with his requests. And then as they're walking out, LeBron was like, You're just leaving the money in there. He's like, nah.
I don't
the
want the
appearance
money.
fee."
Yeah, that's my appearance fee for something far greater. Which, by the way, now that I'm thinking about it, Guerrero would be up there for someone I'd like to
he'd be
play.
good.
Ooh, yeah.
He'd do a good job.
Unfortunately, he's the police chief, so he can't.
He's gonna be barking at
They
himself.
don't like to double cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got this whole Robin thing going on. Yeah, he just leaves the money there. He's like, it's an appearance fee. I'm paying it. Who's appearing? He's paying his own appearance fee?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because it's not about stealing. It's just
It's more
about
like a venue
getting
fee, if
noticed.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's looking to make it big, and I won't lie, if I were a villain and I put out a video of me essentially taking out a bunch of, like, 5 heroes.
But then he doesn't even take money. He's like, oh no, I didn't actually want to do anything to hurt anybody.
I just needed to show how tough I was.
Yeah.
Oh man, someone's saying Connor McKinley, and I'd be like, fuck yeah, senile snake, 100%. But yeah, Gentle. So this is the first time we get to see Gentle. Did you notice that he's not in the opening almost at all?
Yeah, like, and after you had mentioned like, oh, there's some silhouettes in that opening that you need to like look out for, like I immediately recognized that outline. I was like, oh, it's those things that dance at the beginning or whatever that I have no idea what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing that, like, yeah, not to spoil anything, but he's kind of a big part of the arc, and the opening's like, we're just gonna sneak
It's
him
all
in
about
here.
this fun festival. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some implications about what he might be endangering or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and he just sort of shows up. He talks about how great he is and how he has a plan to make himself look even better.
Yeah.
The police are like,
Gentle criminal.
yeah. The police are like,
To be continued or whatever with the JoJo looking exact thing.
and the police are just like, oh, okay. I mean, he doesn't seem that serious, but I guess we'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, like can't really tell if he's actually like dangerous or just a goofball.
Also, the scene where he tries to pour the tea.
And like, yeah, the wind's just too powerful up there.
I remember reading that in the manga, and it doesn't translate as well to the anime, but when I read that in the manga, that fucking scene is perfect.
It's pretty funny.
He's such a weirdo, and I love him.
I have a love-hate relationship with La Brava's design. I think she looks really cool. I feel like she doesn't fit in this universe.
Yeah, no, you're
She's a One Piece character.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like I feel like they dropped a Powerpuff Girls character into this.
she looks like the love interest for Mineta.
Oh god.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
No,
Tell me
you're
I'm
right
wrong.
though.
I hate it.
Fair enough. I didn't think about Mineta looks equally out of place. So you know what? That gives her an in.
Yeah.
The universe has already had one like her.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate that you said that because you're correct, and I fucking hate that so much. Because LaBrava deserves better.
Oh yes. You barely even know her, and that's still true. But yeah, her design is a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. Her design is fucking weird.
Like I don't dislike the design
I think
itself.
it's great.
Yeah.
But it's just as soon as I saw her standing next to Gentle, I was like, I feel like I'm watching a crossover anime, and I haven't seen either of these series.
Yeah, but Horigoshi's used it as Quirks as an excuse to give people weird
design.
body
Yeah,
types
no, that's perfectly fair.
So I'm actually kind of like wondering about whether or not how she'll sound. I'm so excited to see.
Oh, like who will voice her?
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what she's gonna sound like as well. These two characters are the ones I've been waiting for like fucking ever. So I'm really happy.
I'm real curious to see what they're like.
You know,
what they do.
I bet see that if it were back in the day, they probably would have made it sound a little bit like Harley Quinn.
Oh, hey,
Mr.
G.
Mr. G.
Want to rev up your Harley?
I want to point out that I went back and so I was playing a little bit of Injustice, or I was watching some of Injustice with Harley Quinn showing up, and I am actually kind of happy that we're kind of like, to make her a more serious character. I'm actually kind of happy we're moving away from her original sounding voice.
I mean, she was originally the voices created for a children's cartoon.
Yeah.
So it's got more.
I've been also
exaggerated.
I've been watching the Harley Quinn TV show, and I won't lie, I don't think I could have taken her seriously. She always talked like this in that high voice. Mm-hmm. So, just a thing. But yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to the next episode of My Hero Academia dubbed, because I need to see it. But also, yeah, I really liked this week's. Just between some really good animation, if I'm gonna be honest.
There was a lot of really good looking spots in this.
Yeah, the production is obviously really bumped up a notch. I hope it stays consistent for the rest of the season. Because this is how the show is supposed to look all the time.
Yeah. And again, I was expecting that much because, funny enough, this next arc is like they kind of hyped it up at the very beginning. Like there was a whole teaser trailer about this arc that came out beforehand, and it seems like they really want to have some fun with it.
And it's interesting that they gave this arc more resources.
Well,
basically.
you know why?
I'm not saying money. I'm saying resources.
Yeah, because the movie's done.
Yeah, the movie just kind of fucked over that first arc, and that's really sad.
The thing is, like, that first arc, like, complained about it a lot and stuff, but I'm kind of excited that this is the arc that's getting the production, because I feel like this one's going to be more kind of character focused and like about the characters who I like. So like really shining a spotlight on that I'm okay with, and that'll make it like, it's unfortunate that there was some really cool action that probably got eaten into with the lack of resources.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see things that are developing characters a lot looking really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So-
I'm really happy with the production now, and it's like back on track to like, all right, this is like why I'm remembering why I liked My Hero Academia. I was starting to honestly forget. It was just starting to become a generic show to me, and the direction is a huge part of that. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing how much execution matters.
It's funny. I was watching, and I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to take something that people love and use it as an example of it being done very poorly. But I was watching some Black Clover the other day. Jesus.
I don't think I've ever watched an episode of that.
Yeah, I was
so
watching.
I can't speak to or against it.
I was watching a very important scene too from Black Clover. I could tell, like, with what was going on. I'm like, oh, this is
They're
actually.
made weekly, aren't they?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
that's-
weekly.
That fucks you over.
It is awful in places, like really legitimately awful in places, and not in the sort of like just bad animation, but like the compositing, the actual like the storyboards. People don't understand how important storyboard actually is. Framing is so important, and
If the framing's off, you're not even going to understand what's happening sometimes.
yeah, it looks very, very, very bad in a lot of places. And
Yeah.
Black Clover is one of those shows that actually gets a bunch of really great animators on to do certain scenes.
Yeah.
Like Black Clover's on all over Sakugaboru.
Oh, yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You want to watch some great
Whenever there's a
animators.
fight, they're like, all right, we're spending the time and we're getting some folks from outside the country to animate this.
Yeah. And it's actually really great when like they get some of those people from like say China or America.
Well, that's it. Like, and Black Clover is not well known as like the best shonen manga right now.
But it's
a lot of people like it.
Yeah.
And if it were executed well, I'm sure it'd be a fun show to watch.
Hey, look, as a guy who actually read a little bit of the manga after he watched the anime, wondering why people liked it, I got it. Like, as a guy who read a bunch of the manga, I'm like, this is actually funny. This is funny.
Yeah.
And then the anime completely screwed that up.
I would say, like, if the anime were executed better, I would probably like Fairy Tail quite a bit. I don't like Fairy Tail, but if the anime were more well executed from the first episode on, like, I would have kind of probably been into that show.
Yeah.
I liked Rave Master, the manga.
If I'm going to be honest with you, Fairy Tail is one of those shows that starts out very strong and build up a great audience, but by the end of it, it was so toothless. Like, it refused to kill anybody, and that was the thing that kind of, like, you could tell that the mangaka could just not commit to any big
I
drama.
can't do it. I
Not
love
my
them.
babies.
I love them too much, and it's like I get it, but like also gotta do it.
Yeah, you gotta be able to actually make sacrifices in your big story about life and death battle. Otherwise, it just kind of comes off as toothless or Dragon Ball Super.
You gotta kill Night Eye almost prematurely, cause then it hurts, right?
Yeah.
It's like you could have told more stories with them, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's sad.
Yeah, I feel like there was more to that guy that
Yeah.
I will never know now.
If someone like completes their story and then they die, usually that's a little toothless too, like Naruto.
But well, or they'll just randomly kill a character because they're redundant. Neji.
Yeah, I was still sad. When
Yeah,
they
no,
died.
I had a soft spot
'Cause I
for
just
Neji,
like
so-
Neji.
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
here's the thing: people loved Neji,
And I liked
but
the people who liked Neji.
But here's the thing. Oh yeah, I mean, it's like he's Ten Shinhan. He's basically Ten
Yes.
Shinhan.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about a character's death, like, but you can just see Kishimoto sitting back with like, all right, so
Who can
who's in
I
the
lose?
popularity polls? All right, who's got abilities that he already has, so I don't have to worry about that. Well, Hinata's got that covered, so bye, Neji, you're
Yeah.
gone. That's basically what Kishimoto
He's
did.
learned his lesson. Bop!
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know, you gotta find that balance, right? Between like, there's technically more stories you could explore, but like killing them off doesn't feel cheap.
I'll also say this: killing kids sucks. Like if any
You
of
have
the
to be careful.
yeah, if any of the kids from My Hero died, I would actually lose interest because I don't like the idea of the kids dying. That isn't fun. That
I
isn't
think eventually
enjoyable.
that
That
there
just
will be a time when that'll feel right. But
Yeah.
not yet.
Yeah.
These kids need more development.
For me, I feel like I could have seen it. I almost think it's weirdly like almost maybe a little late for something like that to happen because I think they could have used like the death of one of the students as a catalyst for like them to be like, we are getting our asses in gear and doing something, and like we're gonna take our hero training more seriously than we already were, in that first invasion from the League of Villains or something.
I think if you did that though, this arc would feel really out of place.
That's fair.
So I think it's a thing where like when we hit like the third act of this broader, grander story, that's probably when you start letting that happen. But before then, it does feel too early for it to happen.
somebody pointed out Promised Neverland. No, I love Promised Neverland. Promised Neverland also set up very early at the beginning that the children are in danger and they can
Yeah,
die.
it's a very
Yeah.
different tone.
Yeah, it's a very
This
very
is
different
a fun
show.
shonen action show.
Killing these kids off would feel like an attempt to just be needlessly gritty and dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that kind of show.
Yeah, like I love Promised
Promised
Neverland.
Neverland is like a horror
It's a thriller.
It's a horror thriller shonen, but it's not a battle shonen where it's
It's not about how friendship wins.
Yeah. I
Or
don't.
I guess you could say that it is, but like not in the same way.
Yeah, it kind of wins in spite of itself.
Yeah.
By the way, somebody's asking what you. Damn it! I want to do something about BoJack Horseman. Completely different subject, but yeah, I hopefully I can say something about that soon because I've had words to say about BoJack.
Do you want to talk about it during your Resident Evil stream tomorrow?
Oh, maybe. Well, no, the spoilers.
Resident Horseman.
Resident Horseman.
The true horror was alcoholism.
Isn't that?
Yes.
That's Silent Hill,
Actually.
isn't it? If you were playing Silent Hill, that'd be more appropriate.
It's fascinating to me just how much his alcoholism actually played into the last bit of his character.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
BoJack
We're not talking
Horseman.
about
yeah.
BoJack Horseman.
But yeah, so no, I'm not talking about BoJack now. This
Not
is
American
not the place.
anime. This
But
is
yeah.
Japan anime only.
Now that we've done our requisite 20 minutes talking about anything but My Hero Academia, I think we can say that this episode is a wrap.
Yes, I don't
I
have
agree
anything
with that.
else to talk about. I don't think.
All right, cool.
We can talk about how Rise of Skywalker sucks some more.
I think the next episode.
We broke our goddamn streak. I'm so sad. We didn't talk about it on the last Talkcast Pod show. We didn't talk about
Right,
not
Rise of
Rise of
Skywalker's
Skywalker.
bad?
No, Last Jedi. We had brought up Last Jedi in almost every episode, and we forgot to the last one.
You fucked up.
Yeah.
So, Grant, you're saying something.
I think the only other thing I have for My Hero related is I think in the preview of the next episode, it looks like it's kind of like a weird band practice thing, maybe, and I'm really excited to see how that turns
I
out.
think you'll be really happy with the next
Oh, yeah.
episode.
Good.
Yeah. No, next couple episodes, I love this arc. I really do. And the people who don't like this arc, they're not wrong, but I disagree with them vehemently, and we can't be friends.
I disagree strongly.
Powerful disagreements.
But yeah, no, I love this arc, and I can't wait for more of it. And yeah, so yeah, that was episode 18 of season 4. Thank you for joining us, and yeah, join us next same bat time, same bat channel next Monday. I have a cough, and I'm gonna die.
Well, that's gonna do it for me then. Yeah, which one is it I can say for me? Let's stay back.